Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Sunday, September 20th, 2020. I got some notifications popping up here. Sorry about that. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Today is a relatively warm day, at least during the day it was. In the early morning when I went out for my run, it was really cold and windy. So not so nice for a recovery run day, but now it's pretty nice out. Snow is actually melting a little bit, so that's a nice little surprise. And just enjoying the Sunday, having a relaxing day. Hopefully, you guys are having a relaxing day too. But it also looks like some of you guys have been getting busy. We got Chris Yao saying that we need a cowbell for Danny Jamie in the sub 4-hour marathon. Awesome. And Enna says we need another one for Frank doing a 50K in 4:46:43. Amazing work. Great work, everybody. Man, you guys are making me feel really tired all of a sudden. That's fantastic. Fantastic news. Let's take a quick moment here to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast version of this. Hope you guys are having a good run or a good commute today. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, welcome. Glad to have you guys here as well. We also have Jeff Elliott saying hello. He's here in the live stream today. And we got a question right off the bat from New Joyce Chung saying, I'm fairly new to your channel and used to run a lot, but now I'm older and want to start walking / slow jogging again. Any suggestions on a female shoe? Thank you. That's a good question. I would say number one, I wouldn't if you're just trying to get active again and want to do walking, slow jogging, pretty much any shoe you have is going to be fine for that. Just don't let the shoe bother you. If you're starting to get into that routine a little bit more and are looking for something a little bit more specific, I think a great choice for that would probably be the Clifton 7. That's a great place that I would start. I recommended the Saucony Ride 13 for my wife. She sometimes likes it. She sometimes doesn't like it, but that's another one. She really liked the Pegasus 36. I don't think she would like the Pegasus 37, but the Pegasus 36 she also really liked. So those are some that I would take a look at. Awesome. All right. John is here as well. Says, hi, everyone. Hope you're doing great. I finally got into the Christmas mood today. Awesome. Well, that's good. That's good. And just in time because it's the last week before Christmas. Here in Iowa, and at least in the Western Dubuque School District, I assume all of Dubuque schools too. I'm not sure. But in the Western Dubuque School District, which is where we are, the kids have 2 more days of school this week. So they got to go Monday and Tuesday, and then they got the rest of the week off, I think. But my daughter is done. So it took them all of 0 days to get completely off schedule. I think my daughter went to bed at like after midnight yesterday. The baby went to bed at like 10. So like they're all way off schedule. I'm off schedule too. I didn't go to bed till like 10:30. Yeah. So let the Christmas season begin. So that's a lot of what that means for us. Is just like schedules are all sorts of crazy. But it's nice because there's Christmas movies and stuff on, so we're really we're really into that. Right now, the girls are watching Fred Claus. They're both like captivated by it, which I'm like, I think these girls are a little too young for I don't think Fred Claus is really like a kid's Christmas movie, or at least not an 8-year-old's Christmas movie. So I'm like, but it's a TV version, so it's nothing too terrible. It's gonna be on there. But I don't know what it says about like my parenting and the kind of like the things that they're normally subjected to. If they feel like Fred Claus is like a normal Christmas movie. The other Christmas movie that we haven't seen a lot though, that my wife like basically like, at least once a day, sometimes multiple times a day, will remind us that we haven't watched enough is Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah, she loves that movie. I love that movie. I feel like, I don't know, like, I mean, it happens in like the Chicago suburbs, and I know a lot of Fromeyers, so I love that movie, and it definitely brings back, memories of Chicago where we live. So I can definitely enjoy watching that a couple more times before Christmas hits. And I also just kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't know which character I would be in Christmas with the Cranks. If I move, like if my wife and I, if we moved our family to like the Chicago suburbs, I don't know who we would be. But I don't know. That'd be an interesting. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's a good one. All right, let's see. Kevin Bickerton says, "Hi, Kofuzi. First time ran half marathon distance today. Wow, you guys have been getting after it. Good job, Kevin. Well, and his goal was to get under 2 hours, and he ran 1:53:11 in the endorphin speeds, and then carried him along nicely. Great job, Kevin. My first half marathon was 2:04, 2:05. So awesome, great work. 1:53:11, excellent. Louis Becerra's here. Good to see you again. Runner Dre, Martha's here. She said, "So proud of Danny J and Frank. They're both beasts. Double cowbells. Yeah, we had triple cowbells today, so that's awesome." Stevie says he wants to see Die Hard as a Christmas movie. I'm not. I mean, it happens at Christmas, but you know, I can be convinced either way. I guess like I just wouldn't argue with anyone one way or the other. The other movie that was on yesterday on TV was Gremlins, and I kind of forgot that happens. That's also like a kind of a Christmassy movie as well. So, yeah. Pedro is here. Awesome, Pedro. Love the shades and that avatar you got there. Lucy Taylor says, just watch Ed Bud's live stream. I asked him this question. Where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Maybe it's further up. Let me find it here. All right, Lucy, you'll have to remind me what that question is because I'm not seeing it. All right. Chris Yao says, no for the ride 13, siding with my wife on that one. Okay, yeah. You know, it's been getting, I've been seeing more and more kind of like mixed reviews on it, but I agree that it can be a little bit of a confusing shoe because it looks super plush, but it's not very soft underfoot. So maybe that's what is getting people, I don't know. But I can also understand why some people just won't like it. But I have a soft spot for the ride, I think. All right, and let's see, where does that go? All right, Scotty B with the super chat, awesome, thank you. Says, congrats on growing the channel and live streams in 2020. Looking forward to 2021 co-road tour. Awesome. Well, thanks, Scotty. I'm really looking forward to it too. You know, my wife and I are talking more about just planning for what's going to happen in the next couple of months and stuff. So it's there's a little bit of anxiety. Anxiety. There's going to be a lot of like juggling, a lot of work to do, but we'll figure it out, and we'll slowly start to reemerge from the bunker, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to that post bunker time fresh air, so to speak. So I can't wait. And I've been really, I had no idea that this live stream would kind of like take this direction it did, and it's such a wonderful surprise for this year, and it's been great. So thank you everybody for being here regularly, once in a while. If it's your first time, it's just been great. It's it's just amazing. It's really amazing. All right. Pablo Lopez says, "Hi Kofuzi, what's your Strava username? I can't find you there. I'm under Michael Co. It's just under my regular name. So it should be there." And then I think I have a link to it in all the videos, like the regular videos, not the live stream, but the regular videos. So there should be a link to it in there. All right. Oh, Pedro said, I ordered the Adizero Adios Pro. Oh, are there more up? Those things sell out so fast. So great work, Pedro. Hope you enjoy. Brendan says, I love Christmas with the Cranks. Watched it yesterday evening with the lady. Awesome. That's such a good one. I really like that one. But I mean, I think Frohmeyer steals the show. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite character in that. But I do really enjoy Tim Allen, and maybe it's because I'm a dad now, and I'm getting a little older, and the humor like resonates with me a little bit. I mean, I think maybe I should go back and watch old episodes of Home Improvement. I wonder if I would like appreciate them differently now that I am an adult rather than like a kid, which is what I was when I initially watched them. But like, even I've been watching reruns. I've watched them more in Chicago than I did here, just because like the timing of it always seemed to work out. But in our schedules, I used to watch, what's the show? Last Man Standing. It's a really weird show, but I find myself really enjoying that show. It's not that great, but I just like it a lot. Tim Allen, was it Galaxy Quest? That movie is absolutely amazing. That is a highly underrated movie. So funny. Isn't that the one? Galaxy Quest? Yeah. But yeah, I really like that one too. But I think there's just so much to like about that movie, I think. All right. Chris Dyke is here. Awesome. Good to see you. Me, he says, hi, when are you going to start a new training cycle? Which plan? Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of just running, doing some workouts with no like goal in mind, running workouts just to kind of like sharpen up a little bit more and kind of ramp back up to what was like kind of normal-ish for me before my knee was hurt. Now my knee feels better. I feel like I can kind of like get back up to speed, so to speak. But I don't think I'm going to really get into a training plan until I kind of have a race or at least a goal event in mind. And typically for the winter, I kind of just go into maintenance mode, just lots of easy running, primarily because the weather's bad. And so I don't want to ever be too hard on myself. And if I can't go out and do a workout for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days because the weather's terrible, then it's not a huge deal. So I'm not sure. I definitely know though that this week I need a little bit of like a recovery week. I've been going after it for probably 5 or 6 weeks now in a row. I'm feeling really good, but my recovery runs, I'm just still pretty wiped out after that. So I think I'm gonna chill out a little bit this week, reduce the mileage, and try not maybe have only very short workouts. Just a couple of like strides kind of thing. To recover. But other than that, I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to at some point take another crack at the Heritage Trail, but in the winter, it's not like it gets like plowed. So like that probably not a good time for it. So I don't think I need to be, in like 50K shape. But I'm also not worried about like, the moment that a marathon race becomes available that like normal people can go to, that I need to be able to like run a personal record there. I'm not too worried about that. There'll be time for that. So I just don't know. Yeah, but I have been thinking about it a little bit. I'm like, will I run one? Maybe I'll do a stride marathon training plan. Maybe I'll do a hybrid where like, I don't know. Good question. But I have been thinking about it. Jana says, these past few weeks, I've been a little depressed, but me and my mom cooked lunch today and listened to Christmas hits on Spotify. So that got me into the mood. Well, that's great, Jana. And I'm sorry to hear that you've been feeling down past few weeks. Hopefully this is the turnaround. And so, it's great that you got to spend time with your mom and cook some lunch today. So that's fantastic. And I'm glad you're feeling better. Awesome. Marjan Goga says, "Jingle all the way will get you into the Christmas spirit." That's a good one. Roberto Davila is here. Awesome. Good to see you again, Roberto. DD says, "Give me some support on the Ride 13." He says he loves it. It's a daily trainer in 2020. I mean, I like it. Tiba asks, what contacts do you wear, dailies or monthlies? I wear dailies, but I usually only wear my contacts to run. And so I kind of will wear the same contacts for several days in a row. And usually after a while, I'm just like, these are kind of like, maybe it's time to get rid of them. But I think this last set I've been using for like over a month, which is probably longer than they should be getting used. But I'm only wearing them for like 2 hours a day. So yeah, but I use dailies. The ones that I have are like super permeable. So like the ones that give you just kind of like the most airflow back to the eye as possible. That's kind of what my eyes tend to need. Spence Ohm says, my 5-year-old and I watched Home Alone yesterday. He appreciated how many times people got hurt. I appreciate all the jokes I missed when I was a child. Oh, it's fun. That's a lot of fun. My kids have been watching a lot of Home Alone 2 because that's what's on TV this year. Every year they pick which of the movies are going to focus on a lot. Last year, Christmas with the Cranks was one of those movies that they focused on a lot. And so they've been watching a lot of Home Alone 2. And they also enjoy when people get hit in the face. They really like that. And they get that from my wife always, when it comes to slapstick, I think everyone has their slapstick that always just gets them, even though it's not really that funny. But for my wife, it's when someone gets hit in the face with something, she just thinks that's hilarious. And now my kids think that's hilarious too. So Home Alone, any of the Home Alones, that's just like a giggle fest. the baby, when she watches Home Alone 3, that movie's terrible, but it's great for a 4-year-old. She laughs so hard that I'm at sometimes not sure if she's having a good time. It sounds like distressful at times, but she just has so much fun watching like the people get like electrocuted or like hit in the face or whatever. But yeah, it's so nice to watch the kids like giggle like that. Cameron McBride is here. What's going on, Cameron? And Runner Will. Oh, good to see you, Runner Will. Man, I remember we used to chat a lot more on the Instagram live streams. Good to see you. Says Cousin Mike. I love my air fryers also. If our glutes are not activated now, running on ice and snow, they will never be. Oh, that's true. That's true. They're running. Yeah, it's a different mechanic when you are running on slippery surfaces, isn't it? Hopefully you guys didn't get the snow too bad over there on the East Coast, Will. But thanks for the super chat and good to see you again. Spence Ohms says Home Alone 3 is the absolute worst. Yeah. Ben Browning says, sorry to ask, but will Santa take the Orange Man away with him so the USA can deal better with the COVID crisis? I don't know. Probably not. I don't think it works that way. I think Santa only brings things. He doesn't remove things. Because if he did, I just would ask him to take away all of our extra stuff every year. That would be nice, like a mythological 1-800 got junk. But yeah, I don't know. Things like my wife and I are starting to like plan things, and we're trying to figure out like, well, if we do this, then we do that, then we got to figure out this many days ahead of time. But maybe that'll change, and then we're like, but things can change like at the drop of a dime. So like, I was listening to, I think it was See Tolly Run, Carrie Tollison's podcast a little bit this morning, and she was interviewing Emily Sisson, who ran in Valencia, and she was like, yeah, I like there's the regular rules and the stuff that you're supposed to do. And then she got to the airport one day, like the day she was supposed to travel, and they're like, no, they're just not letting Americans into Spain today. The Americans weren't allowed, but she was, because it's for work, and then she had to take tests, so she had like some sort of exception to be able to fly into Spain from the US. But they were like, not today, come back tomorrow, which just sounds just like ridiculous, completely ridiculous. But when you're ever trying to do stuff these days, I think you have to be aware and just prepared for that kind of stuff. So yeah. So like we're trying to figure some stuff out, and it's just a lot of stuff in the air. But hopefully we're on, like we're nearing the other side. But then again, on the other side, for everyone in the UK, the way that the US is, I don't know how the news is reporting it for people in the UK about the UK, but here they're saying like the Prime Minister has canceled Christmas. So that's how they're talking about it here. But they're also saying that over there you have a more contagious strain of the coronavirus, just similarly deadly or not deadly, depending, I guess, on how you want to look at it, but much more contagious. So, that is a change that kind of like made my ear, like got my attention really. And I was like, oh boy, a lot more things to think about. So, hopefully, we're nearing the end in terms of like the dark times. But yeah. All right. Kim says, have a heck of a story for you guys today about how important to be hydrated on long runs. Had my 24K slow and easy run yesterday at coldish evening. Ooh, is there more to that? It's like that's a really big like intro. Where's the rest of the story? All right, until we get more. Sean Marshall says, spoiler alert. Yeah, I already saw the results for the marathon project today. I did find out that I can remotely program my DVR from here, and so I think I'm going to try and watch the NBC Sports broadcast of it later tonight. I'll probably watch it tomorrow morning. But I don't know the men's result, but I do know the women's result. But yeah, she is having a heck of a year. I really want to know more about that shoe, though. I want to know more about it. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from her, but like, can you tell me more about the shoes too, please? Yeah. Lucy Taylor says, ask Ed Bud this question and wonder your thoughts. I'm a new runner, almost finished Couch to 5K. What shoes do you recommend? I currently use Asics Nova Blast. Well, I think that, I mean, first I want to know what, not first, but one thing is I want to know what Ed Bud said. But I think if you like the Nova Blast, if you're in that shoe, I don't see any reason to change from that at this point. So that one has great versatility until you're getting to the point where I think if you want to get new shoes, great. I would probably recommend getting something a little bit more speed focused than the Nova Blast. And that's something that you can look at. I think the Boston 9 would be a great choice. But I think that at the same time, if you don't want to start buying a whole bunch of shoes, that Nova Blast is something that can definitely take you a very long time, or take you be with you for a very long time until you're running more than 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Then at that point, you might want to just rotate some shoes, just so that way you're giving the shoes a day to kind of rest. Not that they need to rest, but so that the cushion in the midsole doesn't get as impacted as quickly. So it'll last a little bit longer than the mileage would normally suggest. So that might be something, but I think the Nova Blast is a great shoe. So you're already in a good shoe. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right. Leona says, thanks to yesterday's recommendation, started listening to Running with Sherman today, and a fun book so far. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. I am. I did look at my Audible account, and you get a credit every month to go get another book, and sometimes I can't wait and I just buy more credits. But sometimes if it's close, I'll just wait a couple of days so that I don't have to pay extra money in addition to the subscription fee. And I think my next credit comes tomorrow. So I don't know. I might get one. I might get that one. But I'm also thinking about I might get a really, really a really long book. I'm thinking about Obama's new book, but I looked at that. It's 29 hours, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can listen to anyone for 29 hours straight. That's a long book. I think it's 700 pages. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right. Matt Boat 2SS. If Santa was a runner, what shoe would you recommend to him? I'm thinking Brooks Beast. I think that he would definitely want the Alpha Fly, because the outsole I think looks like an animal. I think it actually looks like the roof of a dog's mouth. And I think that for someone that spends a lot of time with reindeer, I think he would just appreciate that. I think that he would really like having a lot of cushion in there. I think Santa's also a bigger guy, so he might really want a Bondi, something in the max cushion category, 1080 V10, or I guess the 11's coming out soon, or the Triumph 18. I think those would really work. I don't know that any of those come in. Do any of those come in red though? I think the guy but he wears black boots, so he likes black. So, but if you really want a red shoe, the Fresh Fillmore Trail I think would also be a good choice for him. If he's in the North Pole, not that the Fresh Fillmore Trail is the most grippy shoe, but it's got some lugs on it, so that might be. I could recommend it. I think it's crazy that Lucy Taylor asked me a question about shoes, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're good with what you got. And then Matt asked me Matt asked me a question about Santa, and I go off for 2 minutes. Sorry about that, but Lucy, you're already in a really good shoe, and yeah, and I like these hypothetical running shoe recommendation questions. I think they're funny. Yeah. Ina says, things have been changing every other day here in Scotland. We're still allowed to meet with a small number of others for Christmas Day, but just for the day. Okay. All right. Wow. Well, hopefully it stays that way for you guys, and that you're able to still at least see some other people. But yeah, things do change quickly these days. And Runner Will says, yeah, it's a mutated strain, they said. It's terrifying, really. Frank LaHulia says, this is a great, yeah, there's the Christmas Revel 4. Brooks always comes out with the holiday version. So that would be one. The Revel 4, I feel like, is a pretty speedy shoe. Yeah, and if it's got Christmas print already, I think that'll work. Stevie76 says, I want to run the Bondis on Bondi Beach. I do too. That'll be fun. I was watching. Do you guys watch Richard Murray? He's a triathlete. He's on YouTube, but he does great work with a 360 camera. It's really quite amazing. And he and his wife, are they married? Are both triathletes. They were in the Netherlands. I think that's where she's from. But as it got cold there, they went to South Africa, which is where I believe he's from. And he was running in the video that I watched today, and they were running along the beach, and it was called Clifton, like the name of the town. Like he showed his camera, to the town sign name. And I was like, I wonder if that's where the Hoka name comes from. Does anybody know about that? Where like the Clifton name? Because I know where Bondi comes from, but where does Clifton come from? And then does that mean all of them are real places? Or just some of them? Like is Rincon a place? I don't know. Sean Marshall says, are other runners also into casual non-running shoes as much as I am? I go in spurts. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm really not, because I'm like, I got too many shoes. A great problem to have, but like I'm like I can't justify bringing more shoes into this little house. So that's kind of how I am. But I know, I mean, I feel like if you're really into running shoes, you probably are also into casual shoes too. Brian talking about Obama's book. He said, I've heard Obama reads his audiobook really slowly, so maybe you could listen at 1.25 or 1.5. He was getting interviewed by, I mean, the only reason I knew that he had a new book out is because he was getting interviewed by, I think it was by Trevor Noah was interviewing him. And Obama was saying that his wife listens to it at 1.5 speed, and it really offends him for some reason. Because he's like, I talk with deliberate effect. So it's not that I talk slowly, but I'm talking deliberately. And he's like, but, Michelle listens to it at 1.5 speed. I think that's so funny. All right. All right. I think I missed Ilya Kim's story. Where is it up here? Oh, here you go. All right. He said he only had the hydration story. He's only had a cold tea before the run, thinking that'd be enough, and it wasn't. Get back home, clearly understanding how dehydrated, gush in the 1.5 liter of water. After 5 minutes of feeling dizzy, get straight to the bathroom, throwing up. Whoa, until gushing blood. Whoa. I hope you're okay, Ilya. And Martha was saying, it doesn't sound like it's just hydration. Where did it go? But yeah. I don't know where that went. Martha was saying it doesn't sound like it's just hydration, but in either event, I hope you're okay. And wow, that is scary though. Whew, stay hydrated, everybody. It's something that I definitely don't do enough of in the wintertime because I'm just like, I don't want to carry liquid. It's just going to get cold and make me cold to have it on my person. So, but yeah, definitely need to. When I ran the Indianapolis Marathon with my running buddy a couple years ago, we definitely were like, it was cold that day. I think the highs were only like in low 40s by the end of the race. And we were just like, oh, we feel great. I'm not thirsty. I'm not gonna slow down for this aid station. And then by like mile 16, we're like, oh boy, we messed up. Like we like recognize it. We're like, can't fix it now, but we already screwed up. So that was not great. All right, and it says in Scotland, going into lockdown level 4 throughout most of Scotland for 3 weeks on Boxing Day. Oof. Well, that's a long time. Danny J is here. Says, hey folks, good to see you, Danny. All right. What else we got here? Oh, Calvin Kwan says, water is a good insulator. I don't know. I mean, is it? It's not going to keep me warm, though. I feel like it's going to make me cold. Although, I don't think I've run with water on my back before in really cold temperatures. I've only run with water on the front, like the sleeves, like the drop-in water bottles. And I can say that those get slushy. and then become ice packs. So it's like running with ice packs on. So I don't like that. I don't love it. I run in very cold temperatures with the Flip Belt water bottle, and that seems to work for me. So I like that one. Matt, what's going on, Matt? Good to see you, Matt. The B-roll on that what watch was that? The latest triathlon watch that you just did. That B-roll is just so fantastic. Really well done. Amazing. I'm not interested in that watch because I'm not training for a triathlon right now, but man, that B-roll was a lot of fun. Really well done. If you guys aren't watching Matt, especially for his like B-roll footage, you should check him out. Really good work. All right, we got another question up here. Chris asks, anyone use Martin products? The run testers did a good job explaining why the mix is so good. Curious anyone else's experience here. Yeah, I love it. I feel like it just hits me really fast. Faster than other gels, especially their caffeinated ones. That definitely hits me well. The drink mix, I didn't feel like it was all that different for me, but the gels I definitely like. But I can't handle that flavor for very long. And so I need to mix it up. That's my only thing. Oh, and Matt did ask a question of how was the Sunday long run? I was tired. I had a long run yesterday. So yesterday was my long run day. So today was just going to be a recovery day. And I felt like wiped out the entire time. And it was windy. I had a headwind, I felt like, for most of the time, even though I ran in basically a circle. So it should be like 50% of the time at most. But I just felt like I had a big headwind and all the hills felt extra hilly today. So I'm tired. I'm going to take it easy a little bit this next week, I think. But otherwise, I've had a really good running week. Sean says, "Can I get a bell for the righteous nap you took today?" No, I mean, I think you're good. I think you got the nap. That's the benefit. You don't need the bell for the nap. I did fall asleep for a little bit on the couch with the baby today. I'm not sure I can call it a nap. It was maybe like 10 minutes, but it was nice. It's funny because the baby will be like, "Daddy, do you want to snuggle?" And I'll be like, "Yes, let's snuggle on the couch." And the next thing I know, like I'm sleeping on the couch by myself. I think like the baby knows when I need to be put down for a nap, and she like figures out how to make me sleep, and then she just walks off and goes and plays for a little bit. All right. Frank says caffeine helps the body absorb sugar faster. Does it? I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. And let's see. Ben Y asks, anyone try Enertor insoles or similar? Are they the real deal? I've not tried those before. I'm not familiar. And then we had a question here. Where'd it go? Riggs in. I'm really struggling with oversweating on a cold day. Despite proper layering with a merino wool base layer and a windbreaker on top, I'm drenched in sweat, making me cold. Any suggestions? I would like, what's your head layer look like? So that's something that I would take a look at. I've noticed this year I've run with a headlamp more than I've ever run before. And I've noticed that like I'm just a lot warmer because I think the headlamp, the band on it is just keeping all the heat in that much more. And so that has made like the rest of me a lot warmer. So that's something that I would look at if you feel like you're still too hot. And then I think that, a merino wool base layer and a windbreaker on top. I mean, that would take me to some pretty cold temps. So, I mean, maybe you don't need the merino wool as the base layer, maybe just a long sleeve tech tee underneath. Maybe that'd be enough for you. And then you save the merino for like the coldest days, or maybe the merino wool and maybe not a windbreaker, but like a rain jacket, something thinner than even a windbreaker or a vest. So I'd mix up kind of those things because maybe those two are just too warm for you. But I'd also think about like what's going on with your hat and headgear kind of thing too. So it might be, maybe you need a thinner hat up top. Jody's here. Awesome. Good to see you, Jody. Says, good day, everyone. Good day. Jeff Corman says, though, doesn't caffeine dehydrate, though, if you're going to include it in some of your sports nutrition like gels and such. Yes, caffeine does dehydrate. But I don't think that you're like drinking it in really big enough levels for it to make a huge difference. And you can always overcome that with non-caffeinated beverages as well. Although I tend to like caffeinated sports drinks too. So that's something else that's there. But yeah, I mean, I know it does, but I've always been like, yeah, I'm okay with it though. That's how I've always been my thought on it. I wonder at what level does it become a problem? Rigson says, thanks in terms of like the heat question. Makes sense. I wear my Houdini hoodie on top of my cap. Maybe that's what's making me sweat. It could be too much, you know. So if you've got 2 layers on top, maybe just one, see how that does. Carlos says, Kofuzi, what's the 2020 marathon project? The marathon project is a race that went on earlier this morning. It's in Phoenix. It was in a suburb of Phoenix. I'm kind of familiar with there. I forget what town it is. Someone here is from there. That's in the live stream. It wasn't Gilbert, was it? But it was one of those suburbs of Phoenix area. But yeah, a lot of pros went. So we'll see. Christiel says caffeine does not increase risk of dehydration. Good to know. Awesome. Right. Stefano Gusti says, that's a cool picture. He's surfing here in his avatar. He says, which shoe would you recommend for a 125-mile road race? Thanks a lot. I'm not sure. I've never run that far. I would want to know, do you have the option of switching shoes in the middle? Because like that's something that I'd want to do. I might pick, I've heard people have like different size shoes for like the second part of the race. For a 125-mile road race, me personally, I would want something in like the daily trainer, like max cushion category, just because you're going to be on your feet a really long time. But that's just me. But I also just don't really know. If it's going to be a pure like on the road race, like streets and stuff, I would probably look at the Triumph or the 1080. Like those are ones that I would look at personally. Maybe the Clifton. That's another one I think that would work out really well for that. Jody says, oh, you guys are like caffeine experts. I love this. Jody says, caffeine versus hydration is one of those things that are overrated. It just makes you go to the toilet more. It doesn't affect your thirst. All right. But isn't like thirst like a sometimes a poor indicator of hydration levels? I mean, I know it is for me. I can't trust myself on a lot of these things. But that makes sense. Because I mean, yeah. Yeah, it says morning caffeine level is always problematic for races. It's guaranteed in-race pit stop. Oh, okay. And Matt says caffeine is a diuretic, but I don't know if it said it's the same thing as dehydrating. Okay, yeah. So again, like what Jody's saying, it makes you have to go to the bathroom more. Giovanni Clean says, sup, just joining, taking a break from putting beadboard up in the bathroom. Oh, cool. Welcome. Hopefully it's a nice little break for you. Martha says, the 2 shots of espresso I have every morning have never made me feel dehydrated. The milk, MYLK, or whatever I have with it, cancels that out anyway. Oh, okay. Scott says, light salt rehydrates you better than just water. You know, as far as salt goes, I know that I've been paying a lot of attention to my salt in terms of the gels that I have. Like, for example, Martin gels don't have, I don't think, any salt in them at all, which is a concern for me because I feel like in a hotter race, I'm very concerned about salt depletion. I was watching the video this morning from, what's it, Nick Barr? That guy, like the guy that owns like the supplement business. And he did a 20-mile run workout. He's getting ready for a triathlon or a 3-hour marathon attempt. I think that's what he's getting ready for. And he was saying that like he loaded up with 1,000 milligrams of salt before his workout. Seems like a lot, right? I mean, he's a much bigger guy than I am, and he's got more muscles than I do. So I guess there's more salt that needs to go around, I guess. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but it just seems like 1,000 seems like a lot. I can't remember the numbers that I was looking for. I can figure it out. I can kind of reverse figure it out by the gels that I would use. But I think that yeah, maybe that's right. I think I was going for at least several hundred milligrams of salt per hour in a marathon race. So maybe like preloading with 1,000 milligrams is the right number. But I don't know. It just seems like a lot. Marchenko says, maybe just have ramen before the run. I mean, yeah, it'd be a lot of liquid. It'd be a lot of salt. But I think it would probably sit heavy in the belly a little bit. But if it were maybe if it were like a cold race, like a winter race, that might be the secret. I know that I think I might want to have that. Although like the spice might be a problem, but like I could think of like if I were doing a really long race, like if I were doing like a 100K or 100-mile, I don't know if I'd want soup at some point. I think I'd probably want to eat something crunchy. But I don't know. I just really do like ramen noodles. It's so good. Let's see. Jeff Elliott says Nick Barr is 200 pounds and lives in Texas. He loses a significant amount of weight through sweat during a couple-hour workout. Wow. Yeah. Frank says, I can't watch Nick Barr. Smells too strongly of peds. Rightly or wrongly. That thought crossed my mind today. And I'm trying not to take anything away from the guy. But like, he's a huge dude and he's running like crazy. And he's been running for a while. So it's not like he just like picked up running, but, I'm like, he's not competing at the pro level. I'm not either, but like, but I'm like, oh, this guy's in like the supplement business, like being big and bulky and performing. He has many different incentives to do well. So I'm not saying that he is. I don't have no knowledge whatsoever. I've only seen like a couple of his videos, but I don't know why, but it like same thing crossed my mind. So whatever you're catching, Frank, I'm picking up on that too. I don't know. Kerry Smith says 100% Nick Barr is on the juice. You think so? I feel like, that's a risky move, right? Because if you own like a supplement company, I don't know. But I at the same time, like, isn't in professional weightlifting, isn't there like a kind of like a no hold barred, no pun intended, like category of like, we won't ask, don't tell us what you're taking kind of thing. So like, I don't know, maybe like it's not a huge deal for him. I'm not sure how that works. Yeah. Benoit talking about ramen says, I felt a bit sluggish on my run this morning. I have a feeling piling up on ramen last night had something to do with it. I don't know though. Sometimes like the things that I would think, very rarely have I been like, oh man, that food I ate was like a big mistake. Unless I ate it right before. Like there's times when I had like giant burritos and then went for a run like almost right away. Like it caught me by surprise. It was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a big lunch. I skipped lunch. It's late afternoon. I'm gonna have a big burrito because I'm starving right now. And then all of a sudden, like something changes in my schedule, and like now's when I gotta run. Like I've had that happen before, and you regret it. But like there's not a lot of things where I've eaten the night before, and then like the next day I'm like, oh, like I've done like the fettuccine Alfredo thing. I've eaten that the night before a big long run. Before my long run on Saturday, I ate a bunch of Happy Joe's pizza. Pizza never steers me wrong. I don't know. So I'm not sure, like, yeah, but maybe piling up on ramen isn't a great idea. I don't know. Yeah, Sean Marshall, like Michael Scott, carb loading. That's kind of what I do on a regular basis. So, like, I don't, he was eating it during the run, right? But something a little bit different than that, but I don't know. Let's see. Ilya Kim says raspberry isotonic gel by Sis is plenty salty, but again, the size of the thing is just too much. It is a big packet, but I do like those, especially in the winter when I'm not carrying as much fluids as we were talking about. So, yeah. Yeah, I do like the raspberry though. I think I've had the raspberry. I don't like the raspberry. That flavor is not my favorite. Carl Joey Umbla says, it's been nonstop raining in my area, can't run. Any suggestion for indoor training? I don't have a treadmill. What I would suggest doing in that case is I would take the opportunity to do some like leg strength exercises. So single leg stuff, mobility type of work. If you have bands and like weights and stuff available, or you can do like stuff like box jumps and stuff, that's one thing. If you don't have that as well, then I do like single leg like lunges, squats, like single leg, what is it, pistol squats, those things. I try to do all those. So those are things that you can work on. I mean, you're going to take the aerobic hit for it, but at least you'll be working on something else in the meantime if you can't do any other training. So at least you're not doing nothing. Scotty B says, I found that I need more salt as sodium. In my early long runs, I come back with a white face. Yeah, I think I'm that way too, where I feel like I need more salt. Yeah, so like that's something that I've been paying a lot of attention to lately. But Jody says, I read somewhere that you're taking too much salt when you have a white powder on your skin from sweat. Yeah, I mean, I've had that before, for sure. And I always just thought that was just proof that I've lost a lot of salt. So whether it's because the salt is coming out because I have taken too much in, and that's my body's way of shedding it, or I'm sweating a lot, and here's the proof. I'm not sure which one it is. I always thought it was I'm sweating a lot, and this is the proof. Like I've got a salt film on me. So that's kind of how I've interpreted it. Philip Burns says, where'd it go? Oh man, I'm way behind on the comments. You guys are fast today. It says 1,000 milligrams of salt pre-workout doesn't sound like too much. Noon's hyperhydrate strategy lets you take 1,800 milligrams sodium pre-effort and 900 the evening before. Wow, that's a lot. That's a real lot. That's like 2 ramen noodles. But yeah, that is a lot. All right. Oh, Rigson said, I had my first slip and slide on the ice for this year. Luckily, I was able to break my fall with hands. Oof. Yeah. That's scary. Scary. Jeff Corman also looks at his white sweat line to know if salt is an issue. Yeah. All right. Brian Nee says, I think Nick Barra has addressed the PED accusations in one of his videos. I'll have to look for that. Not that it doesn't matter to me, but I mean, he can do what he wants, I guess. But I'm curious. Because I'm like, what did he look like before where that would come up? I don't know. Patrick Fung is here. He said, made it, though it's almost the end. At least it's live. Good to have you here, Patrick. And he said, I'll go watch today's talk for sure. Very cool. Yeah, Kerry Smith said he has more incentive to abuse steroids as his livelihood depends on it. It's his body. I don't care. Just be about it. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like, it's almost more incentive than like a pro like runner would have, I think. I mean, the pro runner also has incentive on it too. But like because he's selling, like he is his product, in a lot of ways, for better or worse. And so I can see that there's incentive. Oh, Remy's here. And he said, just made it. Extra shouts to Danny J. Yes. Calvin Kahn says Tiger Balm is doping for runners. Is it really? I used to have so much Tiger Balm. I initially learned about Tiger Balm from my cousin who came to live with us for a little while when he moved over from Korea. And so this would have been in like the early 90s. He's telling me all this about this Tiger Balm stuff. And like, he's like, you got to use this. It's great. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so like, I'm very familiar with the Tiger Balm. That'd be an amazing sponsor to have, like, where is it? Like, where is that? Where is Ben Gay? How come those guys aren't like huge, like in the running community, like, not to say that like everyone needs to be using that stuff, but I feel like there's a missed opportunity there, I don't know. Danny J, as far as lifting goes, there are tested and untested divisions in pro lifting. Same for bodybuilding. you can usually clearly tell the difference. I forget what I was listening to where they were like, someone was telling me about all those different nuances. It was a podcast of some sort. I forget. But yeah, I had no idea. It just seems like a really dangerous thing to have, especially in like pro lifting. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's a thing, I guess. KK says, hey, Kofuzi, I got into running last year and lost 50 pounds. That's amazing. My family keeps telling me I'm destroying my joints by running. Is this true? I would say no, it's not. I mean, if your joints are hurting, like I picked up runner's knee this year. So if you're, doing stuff like that, that is your body's way of saying that like something you're doing isn't like completely right, but it's not that like all running is going to necessarily lead to that kind of injury. So for me, what I had to do was make sure that I had good muscle balance, and that things were, all my muscle groups were firing properly. Just kind of like I needed a little bit of a reset. And so, but it had nothing to do with the fact, I mean, I guess it did have something to do with the fact that I was running, but it's not like it didn't happen to all my leg joints, So I don't think that's you're going to be destroying the joints by running. I don't think it's a situation where like your knees have like a finite number of bends that you get in your lifetime, and then if you use them up running, you've used them up. So if anything, I would say that it, within reason, it's going to help maintain the life of your joints because you're constantly encouraging those areas to be used and regenerate and work. And so use it or lose it for sure. But man, 50 pounds a year, great work. Dr. Funk 1216 says, hey guys, I'm in the PEG 36 and enjoying them. The 36s were a good year and I'm on my second pair. I'll probably retire them at 350. That sounds about right. 350, for the PEG 36. And the 36 was a good year. It really was. The 35s, there was a design that was pretty amazing, but the upper was way too tight. The 36, and it was hot. The 36 had a thinner upper material and a little bit more room. It was really nice. Really nice. That was a good year. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Bert says, the only peds I'm guilty of is a whole lot of coffee as a software engineer and a seriously wrong 80s playlist. That's funny. Awesome. All right. Leona is here with one more. Where is that one? Sorry, I missed. Oh, there it is. Not Leona, Lee. Lee Joyce Chung says, with the super chat, thank you, Lee. Says, thank you for the suggestion on the Clifton 7 shoe. I'm starting to jog more and thought I should get a good pair of shoes. Well, I think those are going to treat you really well. Lots of very dedicated fans to the Clifton line. And I think the 7 has been the best one that I've ever run in. So I certainly do enjoy it. And awesome that you're getting back into it. Great work. Great work. All right. I think that's a great way to end it for today on such a positive note that she's getting back into running and enjoying it and enjoying the shoe. Hopefully we'll be enjoying some new shoes soon too as well. All right. Tomorrow, guys, I don't know if I'm going to have a video tomorrow. I'm pretty tired. The past couple of videos have been really like labor intensive. So I might have another day off for tomorrow. I may or may not have a video in the morning, but I'll definitely be doing Monday mukbang tomorrow. Yeah, I've got a couple of things in the box over here that I think are pretty interesting. So I'll decide that at the last minute, but it should be fun. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Central Time. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.